Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be taking a look at the greatest of all time non-Gunpla builds ever. AKA, we had another contest over on the Mecha Gaikotsu Discord. This time around it's a non-Gundam mecha build off. So part of these contests all the time is I will make a video about every single one of the entries so everyone can check out all of their awesomeness. And I might as well start off with what the kind of brief and the rules were. Now you'll see right here that this was an April-May contest that was meant to end in the end of May, but a lot of things did kind of happen this year that I didn't expect to, so it did get delayed. But anyway, without any further ado, here's the brief and the rules. So basically the rules were to build and modify a non-Gundam mecha model kit. No Gundam Universe or obvious Gundam Universe clone kits allowed, non-Gundam only. The use of Gundam option sets and option parts is allowed for flavor, modifying and customizing, but can't make up more than about 20% of the model kit and may not include whole body parts like head, body, legs, arms, and wings. This is basically so it's not too Gundam-y in the end. Any level of kit can be entered from straight build to full customs. The main point is just to get involved. And the three prizes were Best Overall Kit, Most Fun Design, and the Self-Challenge, aka the Domon Kashu Award, for challenging yourself to try something you've never tried before because it's too hard to do. So yeah, 3 winners will be announced at the end of this video. Anyway, let's check out the entries. So I'm just going to go completely in order of the entries right here. I will also mention that I did ask the entrants to put some blurb just to give it a little bit more flavor. I always like a little bit of a write-up with a custom so you can get an idea of the thought process behind the build. So first up here we've got Rathalos. So this right here is the TMS 3.05 SS Sledge Shaper. And what it says here, and I'm just going to read this verbatim, the Sledge Shaper is a 3rd generation Titanic mechanized soldier designed for shaping Sedge fronts with highly urbanized environments. Being only 8.5 meters tall, it is a large target, but the UTIC composite plate armor panels allow for an immunity to most conventional anti-armor infantry weapons. Now we'll pop the rest of the write-up right here for yourself if you want to read that right now, but let's take a look at the model kit. Now, I for one have always been an absolute sucker for Lego-based mecha. It's one thing I've always meant to try and get into a little bit myself. I see a lot of I'm not even sure what Lego lines they run from where they actually have cockpits and ship kind of variant aspects to them, but I've seen some great custom designs out there, and this one is pretty cool right here. I'm definitely digging the little cockpit in the chest with the little Lego guy in there. So according to the blurb, that big old weapon he's holding onto there is a multi-thrower. Now, I'm not the hugest expert when it does come to Lego parts and whatnot, but I see a tire on there and a metal piece. And from my limited knowledge of some Lego that I've built before, I do see some Lego Technic looking aspects to it, but then again, that might be 20-year-old information right there. Overall, I really like the design of the weapon. The use of the metal part is really cool, and the piping running around to the back is a very, very nice touch as well, because it does say in the brief that it does use compressed gases. It looks like we do have an opening cockpit in here as well, which is a very, very nice touch. I would actually like to see the way that that does open up. And we do have a cloak and a shield round back. Overall, the colors are really cohesive and it looks pretty awesome. Love it.
Next entry.
So the second entry right here is by Nuclear Drake, and from what I'm seeing right here, this seems to be based on a 30-minute fantasy kit, and so far looking very, very nice. According to the brief here, and I will be paraphrasing a little bit, on the eastern continent of Cersei, magical engineering and artifice are the leading forms of magic study. Giant-sized magical constructs called mobile fortresses are piloted by soldiers and mercenaries alike as they roam the land. So this right here is the Mobile Fortress Atlas. So anyway, that right there is the finished build. So it seems to be a 30-minute fantasy kit like I mentioned before, with a bit of a ranger effect too. But that touch there, I think that's a H.A.G.A.N kit up there if I'm not mistaken, that little eagle. So that is a cool combination of both of those kits. I see a lot of paintwork on the weapons as well as the armor, and again the colors are nice and cohesive. We've got multiple weapons including the bow and the spear. And I have to admit, it is the eagle, especially the custom paint job on it, that is winning me over here with this. That just looks so cool, and you can see the eyes are really popping with what looks like some stickers or metallic green. Overall, pretty awesome.
Next entry.
So the next entry right here is by Solar Flare, who was one of the winners from the last contest. So this is definitely going to be a powerful entry, I expect. So this right here, once again, is a 30-minute missions kit, and it is based on a spinatio, and it pretty much goes without saying it that it is designed around the Rathalos Hunter armor, of course, from Monster Hunter. We've got a list of the kits that have been used here, so quite a few 30-minute missions kits, including spinatios. We've got some 30-minute fantasies in there as well, some 30-minute missions customized weapons, basically a whole bunch of 30-minute missions. So it does come to the actual blurb here, again paraphrasing a little bit. The Masion faction of the 30-minute missions world was experimenting with teleportation technology to create new stealth flanking variants of the Spinatio. During a test of the new teleportation drive, they unwittingly opened a portal to an entirely new plane of existence and sent a Spinatio test unit through to the world of Monster Hunter. So that simple, effective, and to the point. So the blurb does mention that it is fully painted, as you can see. Here we have a nice image of it with its actual weaponry, so you can see the whole model kit as well as the weapons itself, and that typical greatsword monster hunter pose, which I have to say is a very, very nice touch. Again, the color scheme right here is extremely, extremely nice. I love, and have loved for years, the Rathalos armor, so I love this. The weapon separates with a little bit of a chain in between into two smaller weapons. Now, I could be completely, again, I haven't played Monster Hunter in quite some time, so my knowledge of the actual weaponry might be a little bit dated. But it seems to split in half, and that looks cool. Solar Flare seems to have also made multiple different weapons as well, so we seem to have a long-range gunner weapon in here too, which is looking extremely, extremely nice. And again, the color design on this is impeccably laid out on the model kit. Looks like here we're seeing a little bit of harvesting, so again, some definite love shown to the source material. And there we go, there's a very nice shot showing the entire kit finished. I love that. The Monster Hunter touch, the 30-minute missions and fantasy joined together, absolutely beautiful.
Next entry.
Next up we have Z-Man 0061 with the Twin Mix Maxmilia. So this is a nice short and to the point blurb right here. So it says the kit's use, again, Rosen Knight, Lieber Knight, so it is 30-minute fantasies. The blurb says, no one knows exactly how these two swapped cores. Current theory is that they were the result of experiment by some third party. What is known is that the Lieber silhouette is desperately hunting down the Roseanne silhouette. For whatever reason, the swap also had an effect on their armor cross, resulting in a blend of both Roseanne and Lieber armor pieces. At the moment, only the Roseanne silhouette is able to progress to Class 3. So for Z-Man's entry right here, it seems like what we're seeing is pretty much a straight build with the parts swap between the two. The 30-minute fantasy kits are absolutely phenomenal. In case you've never tried them out, I do highly recommend. There's tons and tons of fun to be had just swapping the parts in between them all. They're definitely something I need to wind around to doing a little bit more when it comes to reviews of. Overall, some nicely swapped kit-bashed kits right here. And finally, the last picture right here loaded up with some of the optional parts.
Next entry.
So next up we've got Sprixte1 or SPRXXTE1. So once again we've got some 30-minute missions kits here. According to the blurb, we've got Verdunova, Forestieri, and the Esposito Alpha with optional parts of the heavy weapons and multi-backpack. The lore right here is this is a mashup of broken or destroyed ex-maxx that a group rebuilt to fight back against the invading ex-maxx. It holds its own fairly well, being able to hover for short periods of time and strafe with the thrusters on the legs. The pilot's name is Hurrit Sprigg, a junker ready to put his life on the line for his people. So this right here is a very, very nice mashup of 30-minute missions kits and parts. I love the design, especially down on those legs right there. The huge weapon looking awesome. We've got plenty of parts, bits and greebles all over the place, and I think I see a little bit of white lining there on those front skirtings and around the clavicle. Overall, great looking kit, and awesome bash.
Next entry.
So next up we've got Zilla CDXX with Sprocket of Polyhex. So this is a custom transformer. What it says here is about the model. The base model is the classic Class TF1 Ironhide from Block Keys. Added on was the helmet from their Hound and the Digger accessory from Orion Packs. About the character, Sprocket was an engineer stationed at a mine just outside of H.A.G.A.N when the war broke out, escaping into a nearby mine after waiting for what feels like countless cycles until he hears a familiar message. Again, I will pop up the rest of the blurb right here if you do want to read it yourself. So what we've got right here is an Ironhide but painted into a nice silver, almost a Megatron-y style silver. That's the vibe it's definitely given off. Now I'm not sure if it's just a reflection of a flash or something else, but it looks like this has some nice light piping going on in the chest and eyes. Overall pretty awesome and nice paint job.
Next entry.
Next up we've got Sephiroth with his submission Hoku Nova Kai. So what it says in the blurb here, and again kind of jumping through it a little bit, the whole thing will be there for you to read. He who rides the wave does not fear the sea. Born from a forgotten doctrine known as only the Altilier Protocol, Hoku Nova Kai is a mythical mecha, a sculpted embodiment of Hokusai's enduring vision. Where others are forged from war, this unit is forged from legacy. Its every curve echoes brushstroke. Its shield does not block, it frames. So there we go, there's the finished kit. So you can see at its core it is a 30-minute missions, but according to the blurb there is some 3D printed parts, which I assume that big old wave up on the shoulder is, and actually I'm digging the wave shield right there. I looked through the blurb a couple of times and I didn't actually see how you pulled that off. That is pretty cool, especially with the little bit of katakana there saying Sephiroth. Nice touch. The wave theme continues through it all, including on this little blade right here, which seems to be made out of a clear material, which definitely adds to the nice water or tidal theme of the whole thing. That is awesome. Actually, it seems like we've got another clearer picture of it right there. Nice. Overall, very nice, cohesive build, and this is creative as hell. That is pretty awesome.
Next entry.
So next up we've got PKT08 with the YF29 Durandal full set pack Maximilian Genius. I like the fact with the lore here we got a short version which is cool playing piloted by a cool guy doing cool things. That is perfect for me. According to the blurb as well, the build itself, he painted in a lot of the missing colors for all modes with some water slide decals, which apparently is only kind of done before. So like I mentioned, challenging yourself to do something you've never done before is definitely part of the contest. Overall, the paint job looking great. I always love the Macross kits designs. They just look so good. Can see some of the decaling around back looking absolutely professional. Very nicely done. I know myself when it does come to these kits right here that what you get out of box is never necessarily what they do show on the box, so a lot of extra effort has to be put into it. But what really does impress me the most is what is going on inside of that cockpit. Again, all of those decals looking fantastic, the little painted details looking great too, but it is the fully painted pilot inside of the cockpit. This always really finishes off a kit, especially something that has a clear cockpit like this that you can actually see in. Very nice job.
Next entry.
So next up is Local Lurker with the H.A.G.A.N. According to this, the used kits are the H.G. Bunyip Ginga. In case you don't know what that is, it's from Anime Warrior on the Borderline, one of the coolest looking mechs around. I love those bunyips. The H.G. Aaron Rhino, H.G. Byakuchi, and the Balden Arms option set. As far as I know, all of these are from that same high-grade Kyokai Senki line. What it says about the blurb here is this is H.A.G.A.N, a machine named by a cop with a fine taste of custom mecha got reincarnated as an AI in the Kyokai Senki universe. As the same with his corrupted AI brother named Ghost. He seeks and absorbs aims into his own, but with creativity of a former human, he created himself a worthy adversary towards Ghost. Again, the rest of the blurb, quite long, is here for you to check. Overall, this looks absolutely ridiculously incredible. The colors are amazing. The bouncing of the pink and the blue together just looks so good, and you can barely even see the kits that are contained inside of it. It has been redesigned so well. Again, wow. The bunyip kits are absolutely ridiculously cool, so using them to actually enhance and elongate the legs on an anime kit just looks so good. It seems we've got some sub arms around back, rocking some daggers. I always love some back rebake style sub arms. No matter what pose this is in, it looks incredible. The design of that weapon is insanely nice. Again, no matter what pose it's in, it just looks absolutely phenomenal. Whoa. I'm guessing this is a separate unit because the parts are definitely different. Do they attach together? Is that the backpack? Mildly confused, but very impressed. There is a lot going on in this absolute beast. Damn, it is a backpack. That is so cool. Damn, this is pro mecha design right here. This is insanely cool. Also, the S Gundam pose, beautiful.
Next entry.
Okay, next up we've got Brandon the Gunpla chef. So as far as I know, he won in one of the competitions before, got very close to winning in the last one if he didn't. I don't think he did, but he got very close, so this is definitely going to be a powerful entry. This right here is the H.A.G.A.N Valkra Garuda. Kits used are the Amame Ghost, so more Amames, nice touch. Great choice. We've got the Frame Arms, Base Lard, and Vulture. That's an interesting mix to mix in with some Bandai kits. The skirt is actually a backpack from the Nin Pulse Gundam, and I threw in some random scraps from the old Anima Gears Gashapon toys I used to review back in my YouTube days, plus a bunch of 30-minute missions and Kotobukiya options parts, so there's a lot going on in it. This guy is one of the Ascendant relics from a homebrew tabletop RPG, Ascendant Relics, that he's running with his friends, so that's pretty cool. Again, I will pop up the rest of the blurb there for you to read yourself. And this is the finished build, so that is really cool. Again, a nice anime based build right here. It said in the blurb that the color is meant to be a little bit textured and worn down, like it's been through some battles, and it definitely looks that way. Very, very nice. Overall design looking incredible. The color scheme of red and silver gelling together extremely, extremely nice. I love the big talon claw backpacks running off the backpack. Multiple nice weapons in here. I'm digging the kind of almost Scar style design running down the head. That is an incredibly cool, subtle touch. Seems we've got multiple weapons. Here we've got a larger sword, here a smaller sword, and there's a bit of a final pose looking absolutely incredible.
Next entry.
So next up we've got Malkavian with this one caught my eye before anything else when I was scrolling through all of these entries individually. The colors are phenomenal. And when I actually saw on the blurb right here that this Mecha Blastoise, which has a Squirtle pilot that fits in the back, is actually painted with AK Interactive's pens. This looks so nicely painted for paint markers. That is incredible. Also, the model kit I'd never heard of before, and it's blowing my mind at how fun it is. Just in case you don't know what this is the 57 1/24th scale Manhunter ground armor. It is so fun looking. I've never heard of this before, and I'm absolutely impressed, especially with that Blastoise color scheme. Again, for pens, I am so shocked at how nice it looks. I'm looking at the original kit, and you've obviously painted the entirety of it, and it's ridiculously clean. The decals look great. That is so nice. Even in the close-ups, that looks amazing for pen. The backpack looks like it might be the original color. Not sure. It could be painted. Again, I would love to know. The overall color kind of looks like the original colors, but it's got a nice matte finish. Does this kit actually come with the tiny little turtle for inside of it? That is so fun. Overall, I love this to bits. That's fun. That is so fun. Love it.
Next entry.
Next up, we've got Jake the Late with his build. We've got no blurb, but blurbs aren't a necessity. But anyway, from what I can see right here, we've got one of the Novas from 30-minute missions, just painted in a nice, very nice, I might add, shade of green. So we've got green and gray. I'm actually kind of distracted a little bit by that base down there. That's nicely painted, dude. That's pretty cool. Is that 3D printed? That's nice. We've got some of that orange around the verniers as well, so I'm assuming the base is custom painted to match, which is always a very nice touch, and that is a really cool colored Nova.
Next entry.
So last up then is Cindy, and we've got a little bit of what I assume is a bash right here. No blurb, and not late, by the way. So from what I'm seeing right here is we've got some 30-minute missions kits popped together. The horse-style body on there, always a very incredibly nice touch. The use of throwing one of the Bandai, I think it's one of the Bandai thruster or funnel effect parts into the cannon as an effect part is something I've never thought of, and it works out incredibly well. It seems like we've got a custom paint job here in a kind of purple and white, and overall very beautiful, and blown away by the creative use of that blasting thruster effect.
Winner time.
So now is the hardest part of the video, which is announcing the winners. I always hate choosing winners because it is just so difficult. But winners must be chosen, so here we go. In first place is Local Lurker with the H.A.G.A.N. This is just such an incredible design. Just by the way, for your own reference, this is what a Bunyip Ginga looks like. That is the actual kit. Awesome, brilliant, really cool. This is the custom version. It is just over the top and insane. This looks like a real heavy duty, insane, awesome mecha. It just seems so mechanical, lightweight at the same time heavy. The weapon design is incredible. Overall, this has been customized to absolute perfection and finished with a beautiful color palette in the end. I love this to bits. So much so, I just want to go out and whip open some Kyokai Senki kits because they are great, and you can see what you can really do with them right here. In second place, it's Gunpla Chef with the Valkra Garuda. Now, this decision is by no means just kind of connected to the last one. It is kind of funny that both of the winners for this particular competition used Kyokai Senki kits. They're just such a great base. This is a really awesome take on it too. We've got the savage legs of the ghost. I'm pretty sure I'm seeing a little bit of iron-blooded orphans in the chest as well, and overall this is a visceral, nice design. It's really cool. The use of silver and red together is very nice. The hand-painted details all over the place looking great, and overall it's just an amazing, cool design, and one hell of a kit bash. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. So lastly then, when it does come to the Domon Kashu Award for pushing yourself, this one was a hard one to choose because so many people made some great kits and did a lot of pushing, but I did feel one pushed the envelope a little bit more than the rest when it did come to trying new and unique things. And that is Sephiroth with the Hoku Nova Kai. I mean, this is an absolutely wild idea. 3D printing some parts with the Wave by Hokusai, the shield actually with the Wave by Hokusai on it as well, printing your own name in katakana on it, that very unique tidal blade, and then just painting everything in together, especially if you're not too familiar with priming and painting kits. Overall, it worked out incredibly, and it's such an ambitious idea that you can tell was not simple to pull off. So congratulations on that win. So there we go. Once again, first place, second place, and third place. So congratulations to all the winners. Everyone who entered, you had some absolutely great builds and you all deserve the win, even though only 3 can be chosen today. Anyway, as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to come back for more Gundam and non-Gundam related videos, and I'll see you next time.